Alright, this is my obligatory face of reaction for every Yu-Gi tuber out there. Okay, I'm done. Okay, so moving on, we're going to be doing a damage control report here. So damage report on the meta, and we're also going to look forward to the upcoming decks and then which decks survive, and we're going to break that all down in this video. But first, let's go through this gigantic list. First time ever, I have to fill up the entire page with cards, and hopefully you guys can find this pretty easy to read. So starting off with Forbidden, we have Eclipse Wyvern and Bardiche. Eclipse Wyvern caused by, of course, Danger Thunder Dragon, and Bardiche caused by Orcas. Moving down the line, and there's a theme to this whole ban list, it's that a lot of it is paving the way for new products to come in. Raging Rampage isn't that solid of a set if you look at it. If you look at it right now, it's kind of sad right now because a lot of these decks, they're not complete until Chaos Impact that introduces the finishing touches to a lot of the archetypes introduced. So that being said, looking into this list, we have Altergeist Multifigure. Why are they hitting it? Are they even that strong? Well, I don't know. Well, it is on the list. It's limited now, which makes them easier to play against. We have White and Black Dragon, a consistency part, and an opening play of the Danger Thunder Dragons also going to 1. This is probably their worst case scenario. I mean, if you ban it straight up, then they'll just play something else, but you leave them at 1, it's kind of an awkward place. And then there's Salamangreat Gazelle. People thought that, hey, they're not going to hit Gazelle. I told you guys, money talks, and if you spend very little money on your deck, your lifespan of your deck is probably 6 months max at the point that it's released. And well, Gazelle seems to be the case, especially like structure deck based decks. Structure deck based decks are never safe from the ban list. Then we have Tempest being released and Daigusto Emerald also being released. This is kind of an interesting choice. I'll talk about it when I start breaking down the survivors, and Tempest is something that I'm pretty excited for. Man, Dragon Rulers have been stuck forever. Some people, have you guys said, stealing your jokes here. He's out on good behavior, so he is probably one of the weakest of them all. I think they could have given us Redox as well. That's a possible choice as well. But hey, I accept whatever Dragon Ruler you give us back. And then we have ourselves Salamangreat Circle, another hit towards Salamangrates. Sky Strikers are taking a bit of a loss. I don't think it's that bad because they can search this card out. That is going to be Sky Striker Modules Multi-Roll. I don't think it's that bad putting it 1. I wanted the card banned personally, but hitting it is just as good. It makes the deck more manageable. Now there's a lot of collateral damage done thanks to Orcas. First one being Terraforming, that also hits onto Sky Striker, of course. Terraforming is now at 1. I guess it's also for Mystic Mine as well, but that's at 1. Trickstar Light Stage is at 1, thanks to, of course, the Orcas deck. And then we also have Metaverse at 1, so a lot of the field spell searching has been kind of toned down, so I'm not sure if field spell decks are going to be that strong in the upcoming meta. But that's all the limited cards. Onto semi-limits. A lot of stuff came back and a lot of stuff got put on, starting with Chaos Emperor Dragon. That is now at 2. Maybe we'll start playing it as a 3k beat stick, maybe we won't. It's just that the errata is a severe limitation to the card, so something to think about. Then we have Danger Package. You guys thought the Danger Package weren't gonna get hit. They did get hit. In fact, they semi-limited basically each of those. So rather than completely ruining their own Megatins, they semi-limited, so it's still very much playable. I have to say it's still playable. It's like 6 cards in your deck as an engine. That's pretty decent still. As for stuff coming back, we have Ether, the Heavenly Monarch. I've seen a lot of Monarch decks come back online already testing it out. Then there's also Stratos. Stratos is now at 2. This is an unforeseen day. Stratos is always at 1 for the longest time, being at 2. Maybe we'll see some changes. Inzektor Dragonfly is back at 2. I don't know how viable the deck is, but I know Dragonfly is a very deadly card, and it will be able to spam out the deck as long as we can figure out a proper equip engine to play with that. We have double damage juggler, nothing too relevant there. Shritz now at 2. I'm not sure if that's going to do very much either. So, and then there's also Royal Tribute at 2. Depending on the deck it is, if you Royal Tribute I guess, yeah, it's actually still pretty devastating. If you're able to use Royal Tribute, you probably have Necro Valley. It's giving Gravekeeper a bone for sure. I mean, that's reintroducing a lot of decks back into the meta. And finally, the stuff that's being released, we even have a page full for that. We have Clifford Scout. That could have been back for a long time. That was one card that I definitely called, hey, it has to come back. Pay 8 does not feel that great anymore. Luster Pendulum might put Pendulum back on the map as well, because now it's consistent. You can play Draco Face Off. I know that card, I think, is still at 1, but hey, it's consistent. Trishula is at 3. I guess not many people can triple Trish anymore, but that can all change thanks to Rekindling. That's also at 3. Dark Hole's at 3. Monster Gate's at 3. Super Poly's at 3. And last but not least, Solemn Judgment is also at 3. If you've seen my recent video of the Teledad days, Teledad versus Lightsworn, there's one game in there that has lots of Solemns in there. You guys can take your pick of seeing how that actually feels of having triple Solemn. Triple Solemn in what, Altergeist? That seems pretty viable to me if you ask me, but anyways, that's just me talking. Let's go into the damage report right now. Okay, for the damage report, I wrote it all down, so I'm just gonna read it to you guys. Starting off with Danger Thunder Dragons, I think they took some of the biggest hits. Now, looking at the damage report, we have banned 1 card of Eclipse Wyvern, limited of White and Black Dragon, so that's 5 cards out of the deck already. And then we also lost 3 copies of Dangers. We have 1 Jackalope that's taken out, 1 Nessie, and also 1 copy of Tsuchinoko. All 3 cards have been hit, so in other words, they took about 8 cards worth of damage. With 8 cards divided by 40, that's about 20% of the deck that is hit. But more specifically, most of these are the dragons, which means the Guard Dragon package becomes a lot more difficult to go into. So that is a huge part of the damage report. In terms of survivors of the deck, Chaos Dragon and Levianeer, untouched completely. Saryuja, completely untouched. The Guard Dragon package, also completely untouched. As for stuff that you get to reintroduce into the deck, we have Tempest that you can throw into the deck. If you weren't playing Red MD, you can throw Red MD into the deck as well. And also the entire Thunder Dragon package remains untouched, which also means that you could potentially just jump back to playing Thunder Dragons as a deck entirely. You don't have to rely on the dragons anymore. In fact, I think a lot of people might jump in that direction. But in terms of how bad is it to lose 8 cards out of your deck, well, it's quite severe because it's specifically targeted towards the dragon part of it. Remember, the whole combo of a Danger Thunder Dragon was either you go into Saryuja as your first play, or your other play was to do the 2 Link to the 2 Guard Dragons and then make your full play into the Saryuja. Those are your main plays, but those always required a white or a black dragon to get there. And with your white and black dragon 4 cards being limited down to 1, the consistency of that is going to be a severe hit. I don't think you're going to be able to perform that combo very often. Even if you do, it's going to burn a lot more resources from your hand. If you're going to be using Destrudo to replace those dragons, if you're going to be perhaps running extra copies of Defrag Dragon to get those extra dragons in, that is going to be, well, you're going to be stuck with that choice. And unlike the white and black dragons, they don't replenish your hand, so you don't get to fix your hand. So when you get a Saryuja, you still have a limited choice. That's why it's a major hit. So in terms of the old playstyle, to get that combo, yeah, you can still get that combo. In fact, I tested that online. The whole combo is still available, but it's not easy to achieve, and it's much more susceptible to hand trap, and you can actually have dead opening hands now, even with the Crusadia engine inside. But is it fixable? Absolutely. This deck is still basically at full potential to some degree. Like, if you want to replace the Danger, you can use a Chupacabra if you want. You can use Defrag Dragon, Destrudo, Red MD. Those are all available options. And Red MD, of course, did not get banned. So for Crusadia Guard Dragon, I think Crusadia Dragon definitely has a high level potential to kind of fix up this dragon deck. And don't forget, there's new stuff coming out in Chaos Impact that might even advance this deck even forward and just maybe just revive it from the ground. So that's my report for the Danger Thunder Dragons. Next up, we have Salamander. Salamander taking about a 4-card hit, 2 copies of Circle and 2 copies of Gazelle. Well, for me, this is kind of to be expected. At least the Gazelle part. I didn't think that they were going to hit that Circle so quickly, but overall, it just means that you lost 4 copies of Gazelle, or perhaps 2 copies of Gazelle and 2 copies of Gazelle or Spinny. In other words, your consistency. Talk about a 4-card hit from a, I guess it's really trying to push you to buy those silent mining. In fact, probably silent minings are getting pretty expensive now, mainly because there's multiple decks that require silent mining. If you're going to be playing the pure variant of, say, the cyber stuff, you're going to be silent mining. If you're going to be playing Marine Cess, you're going to probably want some silent minings. And if you're playing salamanders, now you have to play silent mining. But that also makes it so that they're more susceptible to the Ash Blossom, because silent mining may have a severe cost on it where you have to discard a card card, and well, then you can just not get the search, and that's a bit more painful if you ask me. But overall 4 card, that means they're going to be less consistent, a lot easier to deal with, a bit more predictable in the grind game, because if they have to add back the Gazelle, you just know that that's their only Gazelle that they have, and that makes it reading a lot easier against that deck as well. So those are the things that in terms of damage, but does that knock them out of being the top tier? I don't think so. I think they're still very much viable, and they're gonna get a little bit of improvement in the future. So people are fixing up their Salamangreat decks, and that is probably what we're looking forward to. Next, we have Orcas and Trickstar. In terms of damage, of course, they got Bardiche banned, and there's severe rippling effects with that one. Light Stage, Terraforming, all those kind of got hit down the line. They left the entire Orcas package untouched. So in other words, Mermaid still alive. You can still go into your Mermaid plays. You can still do Orcas based plays, but you're definitely not having the Phantom Knight engine in there, because without Bardiche, there's no consistency to that Phantom Knight engine at all. You have to hard draw these cards. It's not very viable. Before, Bardiche offered you a free +2, getting you those double Fog Blades, and perhaps linking off your Dingirsu. Now you don't have that option, and you don't have the Dingirsu pop. That's a lot of problems. That means if you get Chaos Huntered now, you're gonna die now, because Bardiche won't be able to set up that pop, and to combine with that, Light Stage got put to 1. It's still very much a viable engine to play if you ask me. You can still have 3 Candinas, you can still play the Candina, still get the Corobane, and you can still stun the back row. But once you burn that out, that's it. You can't stun any more back row. If you want to play your Babble, then you can't do it anymore. Unfortunately, that means Trickstars took a bit of a hit. That means they also lost like double I guess not double terra, 1 Terraforming and 2 of their Light Stages. How many cards did they take? Well, they took about 5 cards worth of hit for Orcas, and about 3 cards worth of hit for Trickstars. Yeah, well, without the Phantom Knight plays, without the Fog Blades, it's very predictable how you can handle this particular deck. If you just have a single copy of DD Crow, Orcas seems a little lackluster, and in terms of what they survive with, Dingirsu was still very much alive. Of course, they're getting an ulti print in OTS 11. The other thing that survived was the Galatea. So I don't know, maybe you'll go back to the old school way of playing. Unfortunately, even for the old school way of playing, remember, Summon Sorka is no longer a thing. So I'm looking forward to seeing how people fix up their Orcas deck so that it's still viable. Or is there another engine that you want to merge with? Is there another dark engine that you think is potentially viable? Let me know down in the comment section below. And of course, Sky Striker. Sky Striker didn't take any sort of major losses except for 2 copies of the multi-roll and 1 copy of Terraforming. And of course, that means Mystic Mind's a little harder to get to. And of course, side deck wise, they did lose a Metaverse. That means it's harder to go into that. I don't know, it seems like back row decks are a lot more solid, and I've got other things to kind of break down for that. But in terms of Sky Striker, no real damage. But one thing that they did get is, I think that they're going to shove in Daigusto Emerald. If they get that Emerald play, I mean, sure, they can get rid of their own Emerald, but if they get Emerald, that means they can just shuffle back their Kagari, everything, and just draw 1 card. It's basically a free draw one if they take 2 of their rays and just overlay them on top of each other. And they can basically refix their extra deck, and they can get the Kagari back without even going into the Hercules base. That is just a potential play that I can think of off the top of my head, so I think that's probably going to be a thing for Sky Striker. So yeah, you guys let me know if you think that's valid. Now, in terms of Altergeist took a pretty fat L. It seems like a little unwarranted. I thought that maybe they'll semi-limit it, but instead they went full on limit on the multi-faker. That is a huge blow. The hardest thing about reading in Altergeist is you don't know if they have multiple multi-fakers. If they have multiple multi-faker, what a tongue twister, multiple multi-faker, then it's like you don't know if the next trap they activate is going to trigger a multi-faker. But if you already count the multi-faker and can account for it, you know how you can stop your opponent from getting more, because a lot of the times they constantly cycle. They go spoofing into a multi-faker, or they activate a fresh spoofing into a multi-faker, or they search multi-faker with that copy of their Meluseek. And with all that accountable and everything's just basically a free tell at this point, it's a lot easier to play around. Once you see that first copy of multi-faker, you stop that one, and that's basically it. And if you crow away that multi-faker, they can't retrieve the multi-faker. There is nothing more they can do. So in other words, banishing the multi-faker that's already in the graveyard is going to have a significant impact for them to continue play if once you break their board. So that is my damage report for, I guess, the meta-based decks. So for potential top tier decks, we're gonna break it down. I have 3 tiers of decks for you guys. All of these are potentially some of the more playable decks. So in terms of top tier contenders, Sky Striker definitely moving on as one of the more solid decks. You can add it, I guess, to Emerald. They already played Xyz in their deck with Utopia Double with that OTK combo. So yeah, definitely among the top. Guard Dragon Crusadia. Again, Guard Dragon package remained completely untouched, and I think that combo deck is just going to thrive. Even though they also did lose White and Black Dragon, they did not rely on White and Black Dragon, and with Tempest being added to the deck, that's very much possible. Thunder Dragons on their own is also very strong, but they can also mix in Guard Dragon if they really wanted to. I would like to see how that one actually takes off, and especially with the major hit of Eclipse Wyvern kind of taken out, and mainly the White and Black Dragons being taken out. That is going to have a severe hit on their consistency. I wonder if they're going to replace it or maybe mix it in with Crusadia. I know there is a huge potential for them to become a top tier contender. That's why I'm leaving them up there. Sub-Terrors remain untouched, and Sub-Terrors, once they gain control, it's very hard to take the control back, and since they remain untouched in every other deck slowed down, then yeah, well, they're among the top contender as well. Salamangreats, sure, they lost the double circle, they also lost double gazelle. Are they dead? I think not, because they still have triple Signet mining, and on top of having just Signet mining, like last time a card went to get limited, did the deck die? I'm looking at you guys, Kagari, Sky Striker. No, as long as you're still able to execute the combo, the same combo still exists, and that is why I don't think they are any lower. Everything else kind of fell with them, and because things fell with them, it's not too bad. And one deck that was completely not on this list, not really mentioned in this video entirely, that has to be Pendulums. Pendulums have the Guard Dragon package, so that's a huge check for them. That's a huge win for them. They have high negation potential. They did not get touched on this ban list. In fact, they gained additional cards to play with. They have a bigger play pool, and that being said, I think they are among the top for sure. I think everything kind of went down to their level as well, so there's just very much playable. I know they still have the inherent weakness of being a pendulum, but I think it's fine. They are still among the top tier contender. Well, about high tier potential, let's start with Marine Sass, because Marine Sass is an upcoming archetype in the Raging Rampage, and with Marine Sass being such a high potential deck, I know that once Chaos Impact kicks in, they are basically the next Salamangreat, except it's water, and there's a Cyberse archetype. There's lots of things going for them, and they have some of the more devious combos that they can do. Basically, one card cycle into making big boss monsters and big plays. Yeah, that's all. I guess that shows my knowledge against that deck anyway. They have high potential for sure, and I'm very much respecting them as a high tier deck. Then we have True Draco. True Draco, also a very solid deck. I don't think there's anything wrong about them. They have the Inspector Warder, they have the counter, basically the anti-meta and their tribute summon based play, so very much solid. Altergeist, still high potential, just definitely weakened down because there's only one multi-faker left to play. Yeah, so Magical Muskets, on the other hand, I'm looking forward to seeing how they do. I mean, every other deck kind of toned down, and Magical Musket was like a nice rogue deck that just came in. And with the Magical Musketeer Max, I think they have a chance at taking the top spots as well. And for my personal favorite, another deck that was never mentioned in this entire list, Madolche. I've played Madolche before, even in the previous format, and if they go off, they go completely off, and they have a lot of OTK, they have a lot of control, they can break boards very easily, as long as, because they just need one card to do the combo, and they can use 4 cards to break the board. Now, board breaking is a lot easier because all these boards are no longer that scary. So I'm probably gonna be sporting Madolche for a little bit during this little in-between phase. If there's any regionals, you can expect me playing Madolche. And Orcas, I'm not gonna discount you. Just because you lost your biggest control factor doesn't mean that you're out of the game just yet. I feel like you can merge with another deck, merge with another dark deck. Are you going to merge with heroes? Are you going to merge with, I don't know, some sort of chaos dragon, dark dragon-ish variant? I don't know. You guys tell me what you're going to do with your Orcas. And maybe you'll even merge it with Cyber Dragon, because there is also Cyber Dragon Orcas that was also a thing. Okay, then finally, as for our last secret potential, we have Gravekeepers. They got Royal Tribute. I know that they also lost terraforming along the way, so Necro Valley is a little bit harder, but if they're able to set up their board, play card demise, whatever, rip cards out of your opponent's hand, rip cards out of your own hand, and then just drop Necro Valley. Well, you already have Necro Valley up to do the Royal Tribute with Royal Tribute 2. You rip everyone's hand apart. I think some people will just die there, and like, oh, what about Zombie Deck? Well, Zombie Decks, you can't banish cards while Necro Valley is up, so they are kind of like the new Trick Stars almost when they did the hand ripping combo. So there's that. Inzector is back, but I don't know how they play right now. They seem a little slow. I need to build a new profile to give them a full-on combo, because I know for a fact that as long as you have Dragonfly up, because of his lack of once per turn, you can spam the whole board full of cards and you just get massive pluses along the way. You can play with rank 3s, you can potentially go into a Saryuja and just mass out. I just need to know what is the proper equip way of playing this particular deck so that you can maximize on Dragonfly's effect. And summoning out Dragonfly quickly is also going to be another challenge in this deck. And Monarchs. Let's not forget about Monarchs, because Monarchs was a very big part of 2015's meta, and I've already started losing to them because they go turn 1 Vanity's Fiend, super annoying, and then they make it indestructible with that March of the Monarchs. I hate it, but it is becoming more and more popular, so we're going to see a bit more anti-meta options so that you're not just spamming special summon, which is actually, to be honest, great for the game, so that not everyone's just playing, oh, break my board. You go on Zodiac Duelist, break my board. Okay, I'm glad we're moving away from that so that people will have to consider using spells and traps more. But remember, spells and traps went kind of obsolete. You have to play the best spells and traps or you're bust. Or you just don't play spells and traps at all. So yeah, there's that. And my final deck that has secret potential, it's Infernoids. It could be Danger Dark Infernoids with Layer of Darkness, because now they have triple, I mean literally, they have triple. Yeah, what do you want? What do you want from me? They have triple Monster Gate. And with Monster Gate, I believe, does it tribute a monster and then you just keep going? Yeah, if it's not tribute, it's probably just send. But if it's tribute, oh my god, you get to rip your opponent's deck apart just so that you get additional monsters. You can even OTK your opponent. That is very scary, and that's another potential deck. So hopefully I gave you guys some insight to the upcoming format. Sound the alarm. Sorry, there's a police car just driving by. But anyways, that is what I got for this damage report for the ban list of July 15, 2019. It's already active, so the next tournament you go to, let me know what people are playing. I bet there's going to be a lot more people coming to your tournaments without all the big, scary meta deck that everyone's completed, when you're hovering over everyone, just dominating as the overlord. Well, that is all I got for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, throw me a thumbs up. If there's anything you want to add to this analysis, leave it down in the comments section. Yes, please. I would like to hear your thoughts, especially. And if you guys want to help support this channel, check out the Patreon link down in the description below. And I'm going to go back to Amazon Prime shopping now. Alright, guys, and I'm going to work on some new combos with the new deck. So I'll see you guys in the next one, and maybe you'll see some of these profiles coming up. Also, Nishi's going to be doing a full-on meta market watch thing. He's already done the homework while I was at work, so look forward to seeing that as well. I'm actually looking forward to seeing it, so you guys should check it out as well. And that's all I got for this video, so I'll see you guys in the next one, in the next format. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please drop us a like so we know we are doing a good job, and you can also subscribe to MST.TV for more fantastic videos by clicking on the button on the left. Don't forget to check out our partners at Imperium Duelist. They make really high quality mats, including some of my own limited edition release stuff. And if you want to check out one of our past videos, click here on the right. As always, don't forget to hold on to your MST.TV, and I'll see you next time.